Sleep is extremely important for our health, which is why today we're going to go over 5 tips by neuroscientist Andrew Huberman on how to sleep better. So the first tip would be that you want to make sure that you don't see any light from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. because if you do, what happens is that a brain region called the Huberman is activated, and this leads to your dopamine levels decreasing. And this is why this brain circuit is called the disappointment circuit. It's because it makes you release less dopamine and therefore you feel disappointed. And this is why shift workers are more prone to depression and suicide. In fact, it turns out that many people who commit suicide, when you look at their sleep schedule weeks before, you notice that their sleep schedule was totally messed up before they committed suicide. And then the second tip would be that the best body temperature for sleeping as well as possible would be 18 degrees Celsius. And a study has found that at a body temperature of 18 degrees Celsius, we fall asleep way more quickly, and we also have a prolonged phase of deep sleep. So basically this stage of sleep which is called slow wave sleep. Slow wave sleep has actually increased 10 to 20%, which is a lot. Now, hearing this, that you need to have a lower body temperature, you might think to yourself, especially if you've watched many podcasts by Andrew Huberman, oh great, cold showers are supposed to be really healthy for us. How about I take a cold shower right before I go to bed so that my body temperature is lower? And yes, cold showers are very beneficial for your health and all sorts of different things. However, you don't want to have a cold shower before you go to bed because your body adapts to the cold temperature by warming itself up. So a cold shower doesn't cool your body down, instead it actually increases your body temperature. And also another reason why you don't want to have cold showers before you go to bed is that then your body will release cortisol and adrenaline, and you definitely don't want to release these hormones before you go to bed because you want to make sure that you feel relaxed when you go to bed, and of course if your body releases stress hormones it won't feel relaxed. So instead what you want to do is the very opposite. You want to make sure that you have a warm bath or so before you go to bed, because then your body adapts by cooling its body temperature down. And then the fourth tip would be to make sure that you dim your lights in the evening, because this is what makes sure that you then produce melatonin, which is really important for sleep. Now you might think, okay, great, I'll just wear blue blocking glasses all day so that I don't see any blue light and I sleep as well as possible. Blue blocking glasses can be very beneficial in the evening before you go to bed. However, you really don't want to make sure that you wear blue light blocking glasses in the morning and afternoon, because what then happens is that your eyes actually become more sensitive to blue light, and therefore in the evening already very, very little light will make you feel awake. Now you might think, okay, so if I want to increase my melatonin, so if I want to have high melatonin levels in order to sleep better, maybe I should take melatonin. However, Andrew Huberman doesn't actually think taking melatonin is a great idea, and this would be the fifth tip, because if you actually take melatonin, so there are basically two problems. When you take melatonin, it actually makes you release melatonin more in general and not only before you go to bed, and this can have an impact on your other hormone systems, which is why you definitely don't want to, if you've got kids or if you are a teenager, you definitely don't want to take melatonin then, because it actually suppresses the onset of puberty. And of course, you want to make sure that you actually grow well when you're supposed to grow. And the second problem, and I think this is a much, much bigger problem, is that Matthew Walker once explained, and he's an expert on sleep, what they write on these bottles, it can actually quite often be the case that there's only 15% as much as is listed on the bottle, or it could also be that there's 400 times more than is listed on the bottle. When it comes to melatonin supplements, They don't actually strictly stick to how much melatonin they actually say is in there. That seems to, at least for me and Andrew Huberman, be a big problem. Now, if you want to know 5 other things that Andrew Huberman also talks a lot about, you can watch this video here.